Hi, my name's Faye and I'm a building surveyor with Harrison Clark Chartered Surveyors, and today we're going to be talking about the yield up clause. The yield up clause sets out how you need to hand back the building at the end of your lease. Some more basic yield up clauses will simply stipulate. Let me do that one. The yield up clause sets out how you need to hand back the building at the end of your lease. Some more basic yield up clauses will simply stipulate that the building must be handed back in the condition described elsewhere in the lease, but others can go further. For example, where agreed at the outset of the lease that the building is to be passed back in a slightly different layout at lease commencement, this may be described here. One example of where this could happen is when a tenant has been granted a rent-free period to remove the former tenant's partitions or other installations. They may agree that the building or unit is to be handed back in a white box format. That is, with the partitions removed and walls decorated in plain white. Typically, you will be asked to hand the building back with vacant possession, such that the landlord can take beneficial occupation straight away. In layman's terms, this means that the landlord or the next tenant must be able to use the space for their own purposes without having to clear out a large quantity of tenants' belongings, such as furniture or rubbish. Sometimes you will also see the reinstatement clause hidden here. This will tell you under what circumstances you will need to remove alterations. As with most things dilapidations related, a very minor change of wording can mean very different things, so it is always best to take specialist advice on this matter. Occasionally, we see leases which require the tenant to pay to the landlord a sum of money to cover the rent over the period which remedial works take, if a tenant has not adhered to their lease covenants. This is effectively a liquidated damages clause. Liquidated damages must be a genuine pre-estimate of loss. Where this clause is not included in a lease, it is still possible for the landlord to claim for loss of rent. However, it is extremely rare that a loss of rent claim is successful, as this requires the landlord and incoming tenant to have agreed the exact terms of the next lease, with the only thing delaying occupation being works required as a result of the former tenant's lease breaches. As this is the case, this requirement is not really a genuine pre-estimate of loss at all, and could be seen to be a penalty clause. Since only the Crown can impose penalties and not individuals such as landlords, this clause is pretty much meaningless. You should not confuse the requirements of the yield up clause with those contained within the break clause. Courts are very strict about compliance with break clause requirements, and you can find that your break fails if you do not comply with the requirements of the break clause absolutely, and they will be different to the yield up clause. If you plan on activating your break clause, we recommend that you take advice from both a solicitor and a specialist dilapidations surveyor, particularly as recent case law has made breaks even more of a minefield. Our team of highly competent dilapidation surveyors can help you to prepare for your exit from your leasehold premises. We will help you to develop a strategy for dealing with your dilapidations claim. The best time to speak to us is perhaps around 6 to 12 months before you leave your premises, but we can help at any stage in the process, even after you have left. For tailored advice specific to your circumstances, please do get in contact by phone on 023 8155 0051, and we'll be pleased to help you.